Hey YouTube, Mark Kaufman here, and today I want to talk to you about the Kershaw Link in 20CV. Yeah, that's right. We've got a Kershaw with 20CV as the blade steel. And we have a lot to like about this knife. And I have a few gripes and nibbles on it, but they're not huge. They're not huge. Well, first, one thing I love, but also I don't hate it. It's not something I hate, but you'll see here this lanyard. I'm not a lanyard guy. I do think they're a little much when you have a huge lanyard on them with a bunch of beads, especially if that lanyard is like bright orange. Yeah. Sometimes that's a little much and it goes overboard, but for this knife, I prefer it because we have a really, really deep pocket clip here. We don't see flush screws on there. The thing is this pocket clip works. I don't have to have flush screws. You know, the fabric is going to go over those screws anyways. So, but for me, I felt this lanyard was needed on a knife like this that rides so deep. Probably going to be shortening it, making this bullet here a little closer to the body and moving these up and shortening this out a little bit because this ended up being a little too long. But I felt like it needed that. But other than that, it's a wonderful, wonderful design. I mean, it fits the hand very well. I have medium-sized hands. When I go and get any type of glove, I'm usually wearing a large glove, but that's because I have kind of stubby, wide hands, but I'm pretty much a medium. And oh man, this feels so good. But the one thing I wish they had done is we have wonderful, wonderful jimping here on the flipper tab. Wonderful jimping. And I really wish they had translated that jimping to here on the spine of the blade. When I'm holding this, I'm not somebody that's going to be deliberately losing my grip on their knife, but that jimping, when you're getting really into a project, I really feel like that helps with your thrust, your push, and your control. So what I'm actually going to be doing is I'm going to be measuring out the increments on this jimping and the width, and I'm going to then cut jimping into the spine of this blade. That's just going to be a modification I'm going to do on this knife, and that's as far as I'm going to go on it. But other than that, the rest of this is fantastic. We have 20CV as the blade steel. We have a wonderful aluminum handle here, and then stainless steel liners. Also, we have a captive pivot here. I mean, that's wonderful. That's a design you see in a lot of ZTs. And we have that in this knife. I mean, really, you're asking yourself, why am I paying $150 for a ZT when I can get this for 75 bucks? It just blows my mind. And it's made completely in the USA. I mean, that is just fantastic to see. I mean, this really gives a lot of knives a run for their money. I'm just thinking ZT. I'm thinking. I mean, they're completely different. But if you're wanting a knife that's USA made, USA quality, you know, you're thinking about Hinderer, you're thinking about Chris Reeve, you're thinking about all these other brands that are made in the USA. But you want USA made, but you may not be able to afford that. So this here really gives you a great option within the knife market. And that's one of the reasons why I picked it up, is I was curious about 20CV as a knife steel. I do have M390 in a few of my knives, but I wanted to see how 20CV reacted to my everyday use, maybe even some tough use. I don't use my knives as pry bars, but I do want to see how tough this knife is really going to be after some use. I have heard that if you ever need this spring for the speed safe assist, Kershaw will send you that. So I have no worries at all about if that spring breaks. I'll just call them up, say, hey, look, I need a part. And they probably will just send it to me for free. And if they don't, and you've had experiences with the speed safe springs failing and needing parts, comment below. I want to know what experience you had with Kershaw and their speed safe, because I don't use speed safe all that much. This is actually the only knife in my collection that has it right now. So I'm not a big user of automatic or even assisted knives. So I'm gonna work with that and see how I like it. The one thing that I was a little dubious about, and I just thought, oh, it looks a little plain. It looks like a ZT that they just threw off the shelf and said, okay, Kershaw, make it. When I saw this, I immediately thought Halo 3. I used to play Halo 3 when I was a kid, and boy, I just thought Master Chief's color scheme, the OD green with that orange visor was such a badass look. And I saw this and I was like, oh man, that looks like Master Chief right there. That looks awesome. But I also thought to myself, but this kind of looks like a lot of other Kershaws, and it really looks like a lot of other ZT knives. So I was like, looks a little generic with everything else they make, but really getting it in hand and handling it and using it and putting it in the pocket, I really see what they're trying to do with a knife like this. This is a great knife. Yet I have not used it too much. I've used it cut down just a few boxes, but for me, I'm excited to see what this knife can do. So another nitpick, just really quick, is this back spacer here. I don't know what they call it, but I call it plastic. I really wish this was matching OD green aluminum. I would think that would give some contrast, or even gone all the way on the Master Chief theme and put like an orange aluminum back spacer there. That would have looked so awesome. And another thing, I wish they had... I wish they had actually put jimping here on the spine and matched that jimping on the back here, because when you hold this knife, your thumb either goes here or it goes up here, and I feel like some jimping back there would have been welcome. But other than that, this is such an incredible knife for the money. I mean, you're practically getting a ZT for $75. You've got a wonderful blade that's got a ton of belly, and what I actually really like is that you can actually do a nice little pinch grip here, and you can, if you need to, do some chops if you have to. I mean, you can take this into the kitchen and it can do some work. So that's what I really like about it, is it's very versatile. I can see the possibilities of what this knife can do. And if you haven't picked this up, buy it. The holidays are here, and right now deals are to be had, and this is something I think you should probably add to your collection, because if I'm ecstatic about this, I think you would be too. Now, if you are not a fan of Speed Safe and that opening operation to your knife, then don't do this, because I have seen videos of people taking the Speed Safe out, and that's actually the detent too. So that is also what keeps the blade closed, is that and keeps it from coming out, is the Speed Safe. So don't be taking that out. But I mean, I don't see how you can lose on this. Love Them Knives, his channel, I love his channel because he takes his knives apart and you can see what's inside of these things. And you can see the finishing that is done inside. He had a ZT next to this one, and he compared both of them, and I felt this one had better finishing, better overall looks, and better quality control than the ZT did. that says something. That really says something. You're paying $150 for a zero tolerance, and you can get this for 75 bucks, and it looks better, and it operates just as great. I mean, we're using really nice, thick phosphor bronze washers in here. Really nice stuff. Incredible value. I think it's an incredible value, and I think you should go out and get one. Enough of me waffling on how great this knife is, but man, what a great surprise and what a great addition to my collection. And if you really liked this video, hit that like button. I really appreciate it. And if you liked how I'm doing my videos, leave a comment. I love your comments. I love interacting with all of you. I really enjoy seeing your comments. And if you have a link in 20CV, tell me, let me know, how has it performed? Has it failed on you? Have you used it and it came up short? Did you get disappointed by it? And if not, let me know. I'd love to know. So thank you guys so much for joining me on this video. And yeah, this one ran over 10 minutes and I apologize, but boy, I'm talking about a knife that's just really great, really a great knife. So again, thank you guys so much for joining me for another short video and joining me to talk about the Kershaw Link in 20CV. I really think this is a knife that people are overlooking, and if you can get it and you have the funds, buy it. You won't be disappointed. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it.